Good morning, fans. This is Bob from the workshop, of course. Hey, I started on that hardwood floor last night, and unfortunately I didn't have time to film it all for you, but here's how it goes. I had to start parallel at the door threshold. So I had glued and screwed down a bullnose, or nailed down a bullnose here originally when I ended the original floor, which you can see is just slightly different color. The new floor, so I had to go back in one board because that first board I had was glued to the bullnose and I couldn't get it off without breaking the tongue, which is this little lip on the board. So what I had to do is come out till I was past the wall with a couple pieces of wood. I've already got the new piece cut. Came out with a couple of pieces of good wood, laid a good straight edge, and made a pencil line all the way across the front of my closet. And then I took a whole bunch of pieces of the wood and I put them together till they went all the way back to as far as I could go to the wall. Well, I lucked out. The first piece of wood I needed to start with didn't need to be cut. So I made my mark. So then what I did is the first wood I put in was the back of the closet. And I worked my way forward. And I had to scribe around my heat pipe. The tricky part was there's a little sliver in here in the edges. So I had to kind of make a finger on this board. Oh, and I also learned from watching yesterday's video that I was moving the camera way too fast. So anyway, I got to slow down and cut a finger here. Now everything here in the closet I nailed by using my 16 gauge brad nailer and nailing through the tongue at an angle. You always nail in through the tongue at an angle with hardwood floor. And I had to set the depth real deep because it has to go way down deep in that groove so that the head is not exposed and interfere with putting your next board on. Of course, you use a piece of scrap wood. They gave us some samples like that. And you can use that up against the front of your good board as a block so you can hammer it in tight. So what I did this morning is I put a piece of scrap wood in there like so. Got this scribed in and cut, ready to go. So now when my crew gets here, all I've got to do is cut this piece for the threshold. I got to cut that one little piece down there at the other end of the closet. It's the only other notch I need. And maybe I'll try to find a board that's long enough to do it in one piece. And then once I get that nailed down, then it's all just straight nailing with the big power nailer that we're renting all the way to the far end of the room. We're going to have to move all the equipment down. So that's how that goes. I don't know that I'll have much chance to see it. I've got my miter saw set up out on the front porch on our folding table as a workstation, so to be cutting this stuff. And we're going to rock it. And then after I get all the floor down, that's when I have to put the door casings on first, which I have the door casings already finished in the barn. And then once I get the door casings on, I can put the baseboards down. But we're going to repaint the old electric heater, so I've got to get that painted back on before I can finish the front corner's baseboard. But that's getting ahead of myself. Check in later. God bless. All right, so we've been working on this today a bit. Get yourself your handy dandy nailer from your rental store. Comes with a big mallet. You put down your underlayment paper, which they recommend. It doesn't make way too torn to even serve flooring. Sits right on the notch. You pull the trigger. Drives it tight and drives the nail. want to dent the edge either. This does, you can see it sucking the joint down tight though. All right, we're at about a 60% floor completion here. Ripping along on it. I'll try to move slower. I've noticed in my last video I moved way too fast. All right, she looks beautiful though. It's good to see it past halfway. Well, fans, we're into this job about 6 hours, but we have a little over 140 square feet done. One note on how to end this. Okay, when you've got your big rentable nailer, when you get within about a foot of the wall, you can't use it anymore because it has to hook onto the edge of your boards like so, and you can't swing the mallet. So after I got about 6 boards from the wall, I started toe nailing through the tongue with my 16 gauge nailer, and I had it set, the nail set really deep, so it was going down deep into the groove really nicely. And I used it when I started. And what we did when we got to the next to the last is we had our last board and then the cut. And what we did is we actually glued the cut to the last board so it was one wide piece, and then we dropped it down in and pried it with the pry bar back onto the tongue, and then I face nailed with the air nailer here real close to the wall, and that'll cover my nail heads. Now I don't know if that's the way the professionals would do it, but that's how I figured out how to do it. I'm thinking maybe the professionals face nail and then just plug the holes with colored caulk or whatever, putty. But the good news is this job is done. It was tough, but it looks beautiful. So the next thing I need to do is I need to put the door casing on. And then you got to have the door casings before you can do your baseboards, because they go up against that. And I need to get my electric heater that goes there. You can see the wire. The electric heater has to be repainted. I'm going to change out all the outlets. They're just kind of beat. And we have been bringing the Ethernet cable up through around the heat duct for my wife's office. One separate for her phone box, one separate for her computer. I'm thinking about getting one of those wall receptacles and sneaking it into the wall so it's much neater. And she wants to hang all of her modems and stuff somewhere out of the way. So I was thinking maybe I'll just get a piece of, I've got a piece of plexiglass about 18 inches square. And if I screw that to the wall, the color of the paint will show through. But then we can put double sticky Velcro onto the modem boxes and stuff and stick them to the wall, and we can wire tie it. So anyway, the flooring is done, and that's the project for now. I still am going to paint the closet. The closet is still white, and I don't like that. So the problem is I need to cut in around every one of those little hangers, because they're like a plastic wall stud, that's the wall plug thing that's already expanded in the wall, and I can't get it back out. So I'm going to have to cut in around every one, but I'm going to do it because I want it to look nice. And then the bifold doors, and we'll be done. So that's it so far today. I think I'll make this another episode just with the hardwood floor. It's beautiful. Pre-finished. Got it from Lumber Liquidators. All right, next time, guys. God bless.